Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this week's episode of Break the Glass. And today we're going to be talking about Piedmont, which is this region in Italy, and they actually call it the Burgundy of Italy because it's that great. Burgundy, you know, I'm sure you hear of it. It's this region in France. It's probably the most popular wine region in France, but Italy makes some pretty awesome wines as well, and Piedmont is their Burgundy. So I decided that we would talk about Piedmont today just because I love their wines so much. Taste-wise, it's probably my favorite wine region there is. I think they make super food-friendly wines. They make some really good stuff that isn't crazy expensive. Like, I would much rather spend $15 to $20 on something from Piedmont than I would for, like, you know, if you're shopping Burgundy, you're probably spending like $20, $25, $30. So yeah, so I really love Piedmont. I know I talk about how much I love Mendoza, and I feel like Mendoza, like my heart is with Mendoza, but my taste buds are with Piedmont. I really love Piedmont. So Piedmont is up in the north part of Italy, and it's right on the border of France, so it's surrounded by the French Alps. It's absolutely gorgeous. Here it is on the map. It's just insane. So because Piedmont is so close to France, I think that there's definitely a huge influence on French winemaking styles in Piedmont. So if you really do love French wine, like things that come from Burgundy and the Rhone and whatnot, I think you'll definitely find that there's definitely a lot of French tradition within Piedmont wines, so you'll probably really like them a lot. I think they make the most food-friendly wines I've ever had. If I ever need to bring something to a dinner party, or if I'm trying to pair it with even just like pizza, I try to grab stuff from Piedmont. So if you've heard of things like Barolo or Barbaresco, those are two wines that Piedmont makes that they're known for. Those are the big showstoppers. Those are the ones that if you're really trying to wow a crowd, you go and buy a, you know, $40 to $50 Barbaresco or Barolo. But then Piedmont also makes some really affordable takes on those wines. So the way that they name their wines, besides, you know, the Barolo and Barbaresco, is they pretty much name their wines based on the grapes that they're growing. So for example, today we're gonna try a Barbera, right? So that's just made from Barbera grapes. So that's kind of a nice, easy, approachable way of learning, you know, which wines you like from Piedmont as well, because they're not naming it based on location like some other regions do. They're just naming it based on the grape that it is. So today we're gonna try a Barbera and a Nebbiolo, which are probably two of like the most popular reds that Piedmont grows. So the first one we're gonna try is the Ercole Barbera del Montforato. So Montforato is a region, it's a smaller region within Piedmont. So here it is on the map, and it just makes up this little part of the region. It's like a sub-region within the overall Piedmont region. And so this guy is a 2019, so he's gonna be super bright and young and fresh, and it's just 100% Barbera, so you know that you're just drinking the Barbera grapes when you have this guy. And the cool thing about him is that he is $15, so that's a steal, and it's a whole liter of wine, so it's bigger than like the normal bottle, so you get even more wine to drink. It's like really fun when you get a whole liter of wine just because it's more. And so I really, really love this guy. So the Ercole project is started by one of my favorite wine importers that we have here in the US. So the wine importer name is called the Piedmont Guy, and the Piedmont Guy just really loves Piedmont wines. So he only imports wines from Piedmont. That's like their thing. They will only import wines from Piedmont. So everything that they have is all just Piedmont wine. So he really knows what's good, and everything that he brings in is insane. And their Ercole project is, they worked with, so Ercole actually means Hercules in English. And the idea is that they bring in their heroes of Piedmont, so their favorite winemakers that they've been working with for decades and decades. And their favorite winemakers, they're all within Montforato, and they make really great grapes. And so these winemakers grow these grapes for the Piedmont Guy, and then they're able to make a really nice, beautiful, affordable wine from those grapes. So it's just an easy drinking, approachable way of trying really great wines from an awesome region. And they make this red, they make a white, and they make a rosé. They've only got 3 wines in this line, and they're all liter, they're all 15 bucks, and they're all amazing. So let's try it. I love this wine so much. We haven't had it in a while, so when I saw it in the store, I was like, okay, this is the one that I gotta do. And you can find this guy like pretty much everywhere. I see him all over the place. We even had this bottle in the shop that I used to work at up in Vermont. And it smells so good. When I smell this, when I smell like red wine from Piedmont, specifically like Barbera, I just want to like eat pizza. I just really want pizza. It's so good. Dang, this wine's amazing. And up next, we're gonna do a Nebbiolo, which is one of my other favorite grapes that they grow up in Piedmont. And so this is the Renato Ratti Nebbiolo. It's from 2018, so I guess it's a little bit more aged than the first one, but it's still just gonna be a really young and fresh wine to drink. And this guy is 100% Nebbiolo. Renato Ratti is actually a Barolo producer, so they make, you know, the huge fancy, you know, $40+ Barolos that are absolutely insane to drink. Don't get me wrong, if you ever have the opportunity to drink Barolo, you should absolutely drink Barolo. But in the meantime, he also makes some more affordable wines like Dolcetto and Nebbiolo, and so we're gonna try their Nebbiolo today. And so this producer, Renato Ratti, has been around since the 1960s, so there's definitely a lot of tradition within their winemaking practices, and it's just a really nice representation of what a Nebbiolo from Piedmont should taste like. He passed away though in the early 2000s, and his son took over the project, and he's just trying to make sure that everything continues on the way that his father would have wanted it. So it still tastes very traditional, very awesome. It's a really good one. We like drank most of it last night, but saved a little bit for the show today. It's so good. Oh, the color is just beautiful. It's like this like reddy orangey garnet color that you don't see in a lot of different types of wines. And so this is $17 as well. So again, nothing like super crazy. It's definitely doable. Oh, it smells so good. It's dang good Nebbiolo. Okay, and so for this last part of the episode, this really has nothing to do with Piedmont at all. I just saw it in the store when I was buying the wines for this episode, and I saw it and I was like, we need to include it because I was so happy that the store had it because this wine is so good. This is the Bisson Prosecco, and so Prosecco is actually another region within Italy. It has nothing to do with Piedmont at all, except for the fact that it's within Italy. I was just, I think, in an Italian mood, and I was like, why not throw it in the episode? And so this is Prosecco, and Prosecco is the most popular wine that people from around the world drink from Italy. So I figured it was relatable and could be kind of fun. And this guy is 100% Glera grapes. That's the grapes that is in it. Here's where Prosecco is in Italy. It's really not that close to Piedmont at all, but it's so good. We sold this at the shop that I worked at. And so I just thought it would be fun to try it and just talk about how that Prosecco is another affordable alternative to champagne. I did have that episode a while back about affordable alternatives to champagne, but then didn't put Prosecco in it, so I figured this could be a good time because this is just another really great bubbly wine. And this is like, you know, the Italian version of champagne. And this version of it is so good. It is bone dry. It only has like 10 grams of residual sugar in it, I think, which is pretty low. There's always like a little bit of like residual sugar in bubbly wines, and which gives it the bubbles, but this has barely any. And this is insane. It's just such a good wine. Oh, it smells so good. It's awesome. So that's just the basics of my favorite wine region, Piedmont. The wines are so good. I really hope you go out and try a Barbera or Nebbiolo. If you want to get crazy, You can get like a Barolo or Barbaresco. There's some really good wines from that region, and I'm sure we're gonna get even more specific later down the road, but that's just the basics of it. There's like so much more to explore. Next week we're gonna switch it up a little bit though, and we're gonna get into something a little fun. We're gonna talk about sangria and different ways of making sangria and which wines make for a really good sangria. Until then though, go out and get something from Piedmont. Cheers.